You're taking the lead on this one.
I am?
Yep. You there? Did you get there?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right.
You have to do that, otherwise it's not wisdom that comes through. It's
Oh,
just,
well, hold on a second.
it's just, yeah, you gotta get it into your brain.
Yeah, it's there.
Is it there?
Yeah,
Do you have the wisdom?
Totally, man.
I think you went the wrong direction.
What?
Welcome in once again to another episode of the Serious Spirituality
Not so.
podcast. My name is Halina Schriefer,
Oh, and I'm Paul Narus.
and we are your hosts today on this podcast, talking about, what did I call it?
The power of thought.
The power of thought. I had it and then it was in there. Then it was gone.
Yeah. I used the power
You
of
did.
thought to
You did that.
eliminate
You're
it from her
tricking me.
brain.
If you haven't yet checked out our previous episodes, please do after watching this episode first. This is the 12th episode, I believe. We're on a roll here.
This is now how we know we've hit our stride.
Yes, we're in the groove. Except
Tell us
I
how
can't remember the
great
names
it
of the
is.
episodes.
I can't even remember what we talked about in them.
You can't in all of them.
I would say 80% of them.
I could probably name them, but maybe they would be in a different order. But don't put me on the spot now, because
Well, don't
I
ask
won't be
me
able
about anything.
do that.
Last week we talked about something.
Last week we talked about visions and dreams. I like that one a lot.
That's what it was.
We're kind of going off because we realized after recording that episode that we talked about the positive power of visions and dreams. And this episode, we are going to talk about all kinds of things with manifestation and how our thoughts create our experience, and also how our thoughts can create a dark and unsafe world that
Or just
maybe
an
we
angry
don't want
one.
to live in. Yeah, or an angry world. So let's get into it.
Okay, we'll get into it then.
I want to start off, because this is what's coming through my mind, giving so much love to Eckhart Tolle for kind of breaking this part of me that identified as my mind. And what really sunk in for me was when he was talking about anger, because I grew up in a very angry household, lots of fighting, and just me, you know that me.
Yeah.
So I learned
I know that
anger is a healthy emotion to express. I also have created harm in the world through my angry reactions. So Eckhart Tolle taught me to witness the anger, not go into it, not let it consume me, but to witness it and wait till it passes. And I did it the first time, not to be oh, I did it on the first time. It definitely took lots of practice, but I noticed a shift right away when I pulled back and didn't create an outward reaction because of it. So that awakened me to the power of my mind in that moment. And then
staying focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of focus, because there's been many, many times in my own life where I've been consumed by thought, by worry, by fear, by planning, trying to perfect everything and planning everything. And I'm not living. The Reiki's not flowing. It's just kind of packed down until this human mind gets so stressed out that it explodes, and I'm ready to surrender into the unknown.
You're just filling the vessel of society at that point.
Right. It's autopilot.
Yeah.
Right?
Takes the shape.
It does. And I think once we start to awaken to the power of the mind and step out of this autopilot that we've been in, we we can't fully go back into it. And the more we get into connecting with who we are as spiritual beings, the more I've realized that my thoughts are incredibly powerful. I mean, one of my funniest recent ones was I manifested chapstick.
Yeah, I remember.
I know, but they don't know.
I don't know why you needed to hit me over
Well,
it.
I know. It was a tap. It was just a tap. Sorry to hurt you.
Okay,
Must be all those karate lessons.
So we got to take this anger.
Yeah, take it out.
Step away.
Yeah, step away. Oh. Anyway, so chapstick. A passing thought of, wow, like I'm out of chapstick and my lips are really chapped, and I would really love some chapstick. Well, that day I was on my way to teach a yoga class at a birthday party, and lo and behold, in their little gift bag was some chapstick. And then the next day, I met up with a friend, and she's like, I have all this chapstick. She had like 5 things of chapstick, and it was just like, I'm like, oh, blessed be.
Now you're
Chapstick is
abundant in
raining
chapstick.
upon me. Yeah. My mom is my deliverer too, because I'll think
She's your
like
dealer.
She's my dealer from the universe. I'll just think like I could really use some dish towels, and then she's like, I have these dish towels.
Well, that's how we got
Would
our
you like
vacuum.
them? That's how we got our vacuum. I mean, she just gets stuff, so sometimes it's just kind of aligns that way. But isn't that what it is? Is we are aligning our thoughts with the flow of the universe? Did the
flow of the
chapstick come
universe
first,
is aligning
or
itself
did the
with
thought
our
come
thought.
first? Yeah, absolutely. The chicken or the egg, the chapstick or the.
Well, if
the
you
need
look
for
at it
chapstick.
as like the flow is infinite, so it can be broken down and be collective at the same time, just like each one of us is an individual, but we're all part of this greater consciousness. You're just tapping into that vein of
Right.
chapstick.
Right.
The chapstick vein, babe.
The chapstick brain.
Or the chapstick meridian, as they call it.
That's it. It's like this little, like it's like going to the grocery store of our consciousness and being like, okay, what do I need today? But like what's interesting that has caught me many times, because I've thought about things and I've prayed for things and then I didn't get it. And I would feel like, well, I asked for this from the universe. Why aren't I manifesting this? And either it hasn't been time yet. Usually I don't get it at all, because what I realize is I actually don't really want that. I want something else.
Right.
And my higher consciousness is like, we're going to let her mind suffer a little bit because she really thinks she needs this money right now. But what she actually needs is opportunity and connection. And that's what I'm given.
I think most of that is take the chapstick incidents. You don't have an innate blockage towards chapstick in your soul. Yeah. Whereas with other things, like people are like, well, I fixed my intention on, getting all this money, but you have to decide and figure out where your blockages are towards money before it's going to make its way to you. So a lot of times it's unconscious things, but like growing up in an environment where you didn't have a lot of financial wealth, well, do you overspend now when you get money, or do you, like, there's so many things to look at, and those are things where your mind, then you can use the power of thought to eliminate those blockages and open up that pathway, so you can stick your finger in the meridian of money and get what you're looking for.
And I think to go off of that too, what are we tapping into from within that we're trying to align with universal thought? So if I am fearing money, if I am of the mindset of scarcity, of victimhood, and that's my motivation for manifesting money, what I actually might be manifesting is lessons to help me release this idea of scarcity. So I may not get actual financial wealth. I may get opportunities to trust the universe and to be delivered what I need to get to that point. So then when I have full trust of the universe, manifesting money becomes a lot easier, because it's not this clinging, it's not this desperation of I'm going to die if I don't have this. I know it is well with my soul. I know that divine forces are caring for me. And I know why I am drawing this money to me, because I can see ABC down the road. It's going back to the visioning of what it is. Am I envisioning getting this money so I can feel comfortable in my body, or am I envisioning receiving this money because I have a family to support, and I when I think about receiving this money, I can actually feel it in my body, the ease that we have having this financial abundance, as well as the gratitude for the universal forces for giving us this gift of money. So really looking at what is our motivation for manifesting, and also a clue is going back to the thought, are my everyday thoughts in line with what it is that I am manifesting? If I'm constantly having thoughts of fear of money, then I'm probably not going to be given that. But if I am constantly giving thanks for maybe finding a quarter on the ground, oh, thank you to the universal forces for gifting me this money. If I'm giving out money with joy of supporting others, then that begins to fuel that meridian into financial wealth. And this is just financial wealth that we're talking
but
about.
it's the easiest
wealth
one
is
to
maybe not the most appropriate word, but
yeah, and you find yourself at times, and I'll say this from my own experience, most of the time when I feel at a financial desperate point is when something happens that was unexpected. And then I'm like, the only way to solve this is money. Just throw money at it. And that I've always found that if I just wait a little bit, everything gets resolved. Like there's no, you stress yourself out about these things, and your body, it takes its toll on yourself physically and emotionally and mentally, when really you just have to go, okay, well, that circumstance happened, and then you move on. And that's the reason you're not getting the money when you need it. Like you can't go like, oh my gosh, my car broke down, I need money, and then go to the casino
yeah.
and say, I need this money. And then all of a sudden you're going to win. Now, it's happened to me before, but
I was waiting for that, because it could happen.
yeah,
But why is it happening? What, like, is it because of stress? Or I know that I don't need to worry
it
about
wasn't
this
the
because
stress.
I know that I'm actually going to go to the casino right now and win the exact amount, maybe a little bit more, due to the generosity of the universe.
The
But
last time I went to the casino, which I maybe go once a year, if not once every 2 years, but I had said to my roommate at the time, I got this trick. I go to the casino and I go to the same machine and I wait till whoever's sitting at it gets frustrated that they keep losing and gets up and leaves. And then I put $20 in, and guaranteed every single time I win at least $2,500. And they were like, that's impossible. No way, that's always worked. So let's go. Exact same thing happened. I just stood at the machine until the person got frustrated, put my $20 in after they got up and walked away in frustration, won $2,500 exactly, then turned to my roommate and they were like, okay, well, how do I replicate that? You can't.
did you ever have doubt, like when they doubted? Did you doubt, like, oh man, maybe this is the time that I won't win? Or are you finding that your focus is so strong and the knowing is so strong that,
I have gone in with doubt before and not won anything. But if you can just let the doubt go, like for me, it's about the arrogance of proving a point in that moment. So I'm not doubting this one at all.
Well, but I think maybe there's some arrogance in there. We'll talk about that later. But also it's a demonstration. Having other people, like your faith is changing the people around you. When we are calm, like if it's a financial situation or the job situation or some kind of challenge in our life, if we are calm and trusting through that, people notice that. How are you so calm through this? Wow, like you're
Most
very
time,
like relaxed
the
when
answer is
everything's.
I've been there before.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and I think a lot of that comes with experience and personality. I think has stuff to do with it because I have more of a dramatic, I've been told, personality, highly emotional. But I also, I've also noticed when things take a turn in my life, I have the power to control my energy, and I don't do it because other people are watching. But I notice that I honestly, I do it because I know my son's watching many times. We had a moment a couple weeks back when just everything was going wrong and my son was with me and I was late to something and I forgot something and I was like beating myself up and and I was so angry at myself and my son, like, I think I cussed in front of, I did.
Yeah.
I cussed in
He
front of
brought
him.
it up.
He brought it up and he'll hold me to it. But then I through that practice, drew that back up of calming my energy and acknowledging that I'm feeling really angry about this and I'm going to breathe through it and step back from the attachment of what is happening right now and just kind of see where this path is leading me. And that's like, I think those are those really powerful moments, especially for our children, because they replicate that, and not only children, but I've noticed other people within this community. I mean, that's what really strengthens us, I think, because everybody here is in the practice of bringing themselves into balance. And if somebody maybe newer comes in who's experiencing a lot of turmoil in their life and really struggling, they're welcomed by those of us who have been here for a while that are in the practice and can see what it's demonstrated like to actually go through the challenges of life with more ease through the thoughts of the mind.
Welcome to the Ordinary Pioneer Spiritual Healing Community, where we offer gifts of healing, allowing for low and no income individuals to receive healing services at low to no cost. To support our mission, visit ordinarypioneer.com and make a donation. Your donation supports members of the community in receiving the support they need to experience peace.
Understanding specifically what the topic of this discussion is about is probably one of the most important things that anyone can learn in their life, is that if you can control your thoughts, you can control yourself. You can control everything that happens in your life, in your world around you. Those moments of anger can turn into moments of realization. They can turn into lessons. They can turn into peace. They can turn into making new friends, Like, how many times in your life have you been angry at someone random? And if you can just alter that perception or alter that part of you that's angry at them for whatever reason, that can turn into you being able to approach that person and say, hey, you can talk about what bothered you, or you can just not talk about it anymore because it doesn't matter anymore. But maybe you've made a new friend in that moment,
And it is for us because I can physically feel a difference when my thought is in negativity versus in positivity. And I'll share with you, I'm doing these kindness challenges with my son, and I actually had a conversation with him this morning where this week's challenge, we've been doing this for I think 3 weeks now. This week's challenge is positive thinking. So anytime, I'm doing it right along with him, whenever we have a negative thought, we can get a point if we acknowledge that negative thought and then replace it with a positive thought. And
could you explain the point system to me?
no, I won't. That's a secret. Wait for my book to come out in 5 years. Give me a minute to write the book on this.
Earlier.
I'm in my research mode. I got another book going on too. But anyways, I got my life to figure all that out. But anyways, so what I was talking with him about, because he was kind of in this cycle of negative thinking about something that he didn't want to do, and I asked him to pause and just notice how he feels, and asked him, does it feel good to have all of these negative thoughts? Well, no. Okay. Do you want to feel good? Yeah. okay, well, don't take my word for it, but notice today when you have the negative thought, how your body feels, how your mind feels. And then when you replace it with a positive thought and you connect with the energy of the positive thought, then notice if there's an actual shift here. And the more we practice replacing those negative thoughts with the positive thoughts, our body, it creates space with our body, which is, I mean, there's so many within this community that are struggling with health issues right now. This is the answer. It's clearing out the pathway so our body can heal. And if we are bombarding it with negative thinking and fear and doubt and chaos, the body's in fight or flight. So replacing these negative thoughts with the positive ones is going to bring our body, our chi, back into balance. So the heart can pump and the liver can detox and, you know, digestion can happen and we can actually sleep at night.
It's easy for me.
Why?
Sleeping.
Oh yeah, it's easy for you.
If you guys would like a demonstration, I could go to bed right now.
Nope. We got more to talk about.
Oh,
goodness.
do we?
So manifestation.
Yeah.
So you kind of talked about it a little bit with like the casino, but manifestation is a huge topic, you know, with the whole magnetic
Right.
attraction thing. What do you consider manifestation from a higher spiritual sense?
You touched on some of it with what you were saying about seeing the whole path. That's what they really mean. Like when you hear people say, like, put yourself in that energy and then just sit in that energy as if it's already yours. I say those words facetiously for some reason, but the fact of the matter is you have to align yourself, and the best way to align yourself starts with your thoughts. So you think about what you need, but not just what you're trying to manifest. Why? You have to go through the whole list of W's. So what, where, why, and then that fake W, how. It's like writing an arithmetic. So it's important to note the how in there, though, because it just doesn't fall from the sky. You actually have to take action on it. So the process, at least for me, is just understanding what it is you're trying to achieve. So we'll take manifestation out of it. You're just trying to achieve a goal. That's all you're trying to do. So what is that goal? When do you want that goal to be attained by? Where is it going to come from? And that can be a multitude of answers. And how are you going to get to it? That's all it is. Like, if you break it down into those terms, then you just have to use your mind to figure all of that out. And that's all. You eliminate the negativity and just keep the positivity in it.
Yeah. I'll add too something funny. I like telling this to other people, but not so much myself. When disaster strikes, when challenge comes, usually the message I hear is, well, we prayed for this. I prayed for this. And to be sensitive about, you know, certain situations and stuff. Obviously, I don't say that to everybody because there's, you know, just some really challenging things that we have to go through. But when the tower begins to crumble, that's an answer to our prayers. If our boss comes in one day and says, you know, we've got people being laid off, you're one of them, sorry. You know, what is it that we had asked for previously that this is now freeing up within our lives? If we're forced to move, if we meet somebody, you know, that's challenging to us, you know, how did we draw them to us and what are they teaching us? So manifestation, you know, with our thoughts and envisioning all of that, and then also letting go and surrendering to the pathway that we're taking. All the little details is to be worked out through the universe. So we get to kind of put forth, here's what we would like. And then the universe is like, okay, so bring these people in, orchestrate this circumstance, send them off to this place. And we need to be in full surrender. And if challenge strikes and we're not grateful and saying thank you for this, we may jump and skip around and maybe not get to where we want to go at the time that we want to be there. So being in tune with how the flow is taking place as we move into the direction that we're wanting to go, and release this idea of good and bad circumstances, and seeing everything there for the higher purpose of whatever it is that we're manifesting. And whatever it is that we're manifesting, if it's truly rooted in our spirit, is going to be for the good of all beings. It's not going to be a fear-based thing of, I want to feel comfortable. Well, the universe doesn't give a poo about you feeling comfortable. So what comes your way is probably going to be uncomfortable to break you of that, to strengthen your spirit so you can have more faith moving forward. Yeah.
A poo?
Yeah. Well, I stopped swearing.
Yeah, I know.
And then I had a relapse when I cussed in front of my son.
Relapse.
But yeah. But I've been pretty good.
I'll give it to you.
I did cuss the other day too. I didn't tell you this when I was talking to my best friend, and
you did it right in front of me yesterday.
I've known this girl since way back when, since we were wee little ones, and we get together, and I was just kind of like the old language that we use, and there were some cuss words.
The old language.
The old language.
It's like Old English. It's just mostly obscenities.
All right, I don't want to get too off track because there's another thing I wanted to cover, which is we create the world that we live in. And like all of this wrapping up of, if we have the mindset of a victim or somebody who is fear-based, then that is what the world is going to reflect back to us. So bringing back in this positive versus negative mindset, really being aware of your thoughts, and not just your thoughts about your circumstances, but your thoughts about other people. I see my thoughts, and this, might kind of freak you out a little bit too. It did when I first started thinking about it this way, but our thoughts are our prayers. So if we have a negative thought, let's say, somebody makes us mad and we think, oh man, like I wish they would just get hit by a car, or I wish something bad would happen to them, or, I hate this person. Well, guess what? If we believe in the power of positive prayer, then we probably also believe in the power of negative prayer, but we don't want to think about that. We don't want to think that cursing is actually real. But what we're doing is we're sending negative energy towards other people. So being mindful of the thoughts of other people, and then also mindful about the thoughts about ourselves. If we look in front of the mirror and we hate what we see and we're constantly picking on ourselves, the body's not going to heal. Why would it? It doesn't. You don't care about it. You're not demonstrating care about your body. So really being mindful about how your thoughts are being formed in the mind, and seeing every single one as a prayer, taking manifestation out of it, living in every single moment. What is my experience of this moment? If I'm triggered by something somebody says, am I jumping into that negativity? And if so, do I want to stay there? Do I want to live in this world where others are against me and I'm unsafe to express my opinion? Or can I breathe love into that situation, release it, and then realize that I'm a part of this new earth, and that in this new earth, I am at peace, and I am in unconditional love for others, and I acknowledge that this person's on their journey, and this is where they're at in their journey, and this is where I'm at in my journey, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now, and so I'm just going to keep that positive energy going. It's not fake. It's not like the whole like good vibes only thing always bothered me.
Yeah.
But really authentic positivity, raising our vibration, can then release us from attaching to what other people do or whatever challenge comes our way.
Yeah, and just to Think about every miserable person you know in your life and ask yourself why they're miserable. Listen to the words they choose to say about themselves and about others and what they are blaming for their circumstance and things like that. Those are it's not veiled in any way that this is true, that people who see the world as a miserable place are miserable themselves, and vice versa. People who are positive see the world as a positive place. And you may not see it, or you may see a little bit of both, but that is your own perception based on how you feel and how you think. So if you want to see the world as a positive place and a beautiful place, then start thinking about all the positive and beautiful things that are happening in your life.
And even thinking about them, but then also paying attention to them.
Well,
like
yeah.
if we were to pause right now and look around, I bet there's beauty in your eyesight. I bet you look around and there's many things that you can feel grateful for. And if not outside of you, for this body alone, we are in the body, and that's a blessing. That's a blessing. But we can look around and think, oh, this house is a mess, or oh, this thing's broken, or da 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 da. We've got things that need to be painted in here, and my desk is a mess, and I need to take out the garbage, and there's always negative things to find, but then there's also a lot of positive things to find, and the more we shift over to that positive mindset,
and you can
the easier it gets.
You can use your imagination too. We talked about that a little bit last week.
Yeah.
It's like, use your imagination. There's a cord on the floor over there. Why is it laying on the floor? Oh, is it secretly a snake that's gonna come and get us?
Is it?
Maybe.
Oh my goodness.
Could be. Or maybe it's the most friendly snake in the world.
Yeah.
Use your imagination.
I don't know about that. I don't know if my mind's strong enough for that. I'm in a negative mind.
You've never
Said
seen
about
fun,
snakes.
cool snakes that are friendly?
I do like bigger snakes. Like small snakes terrify me because I just think that they're gonna
I like
crawl
the
up
little
my
ones
leg.
better.
But I like the pythons that you can just
Yeah.
wear as a
The
scarf,
chokers, as they call them.
like an anaconda.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. Throw it around your neck and wait for it to tense up.
That was me using my imagination to be choked by an anaconda. Could be a baby.
Oh, is that
anaconda.
what you were doing?
Yeah.
A baby anaconda?
I don't know. It sounds really adorable. Anyways, let us know what questions you have on this topic. Is it hard to control your thoughts? What have you learned? What are you struggling with? And what topic requests do you have? Because we kind of go through every week with what we're pondering, but we would love to know what you're pondering as well. Or if there's any topic that we've talked about in the past, let us know if you want to deepen a discussion and hone in on a part of that conversation.
Say to us something like, say...
Go on.
You ever think about this from this angle?
Well, yeah. We'll talk about anything.
Yeah, it's true. Cheese.
Anacondas.
Microwave TV dinners from the 80s.
TV dinners. Mm-hmm. That term's gonna die
TV
with
trays.
us, I think. TV trays are still a thing.
Yeah, I used to use 3 of them as a desk.
Ah, that's nice.
Then I could sit in my recliner and work.
Nice.
And by work, I mean probably play video games or watch videos on YouTube.
A productive day.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine your thoughts were a little bit different back then. Or was that yesterday?
No.
Okay.
It's been quite a few years since I've had the 3 TV table desk.
Well, thank you for joining with us. If you like this video, which I imagine you do because you're still watching us, so take an extra step and hit that thumbs up button.
Like.
And then hit that little bell. I don't know if it's on this side of the screen.
Yep.
I should kind of is it here? So hit the little...
First you gotta subscribe.
The little bell. Well, that is a subscribe.
No, they're 2 different things.
Oh my goodness, I can't get it. Here.
You like it, you subscribe to us, and then you hit the bell to get notifications.
Oh.
It's like talking to 80-year-old man over here
I
who's
am.
never touched a computer
They
in their
call me
life.
an old soul.
I don't know anything about computers either. I went to school for it and don't even know.
Much
That was
time has
22
passed.
years ago.
If this is your first time within our community, we welcome you and we invite you to visit our website, ordinarypioneer.com. Check out all of our services. And we also want to let you know about our program, the Gifts of Healing program, which supports community members here and in the greater Toledo area who are low or no income that could really use some one-on-one healing sessions like Reiki and yoga, tarot, Qigong, and it also develops community involvement as well. So if you feel led to support this mission at Ordinary Pioneer, if you go to our website at the top, there's a donate button, and we invite you to choose an amount that resonates most with you. And we give so much thanks to any way that you support this community.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.